Breaking news: the Sultan of Sokoto has just gotten under the attack of awakened Hausa youths. All over the social media, this is what is trending because it has been alleged that in the past, the Sultan has said that he will be the divine king of the Hausa tribes for eternity. And indeed, he has said that any man who deems to call himself an Hausa person, not Hausa Fulani, is an infidel. Let me read out some comments of people on social media about this conversation. Look at one saying that, well, Ibrahim Diko, why is it that when we say we are Hausa people, some Fulani call us Maguzawa while we are praying? Or they say there is no pure Hausa people except Hausa Fulani. I swear you are Hausa. Our tribes has no comparison with any tribe, mother, father, grandfather, and grandfathers. That is a Fulani man replying that guy over there. Ibrahim Diko also said, those who say there is no Hausa people, this is their problem. I am not among those with this opinion. So you have to see that the Fulani's conquest over the Hausa people has unfortunately been fulfilled. Because as it stands today, even the Hausa people sometimes doubt who they are. They have lost their identity. You will see about, amongst Hausa people, you will see about 75% of them who say that, well, I am Hausa Fulani. I am not a pure Hausa man. And this is because during the period of 1804 down to 1901, before the British Empire defeated the Sokoto Caliphate, the Fulani people ensured that no family of the Hausa did not get spared by being infiltrated by the Fulani blood. They ensured that they got married to, or they forcefully slept with Hausa women, and they bear them children. You know why they did this? Hmm? It is simple. They understand that when it comes to population, they will be on the minority side. So they strategically came into the Hausa land, dethroned all the leaders, took the political power positions. Their wives ensured that about 90% of the Hausa women either get married or forcefully bear children for the Hausa man within those early 19th centuries. So, with that done, right, it is right to say that the Fulanese have been able to conjoin themselves. They have been able to integrate themselves, and therefore, we do not longer have any pure Hausa tribe or Hausa family. In every Hausa family today, there will be a Fulani, either nuclear or by extension. It is indeed a very sad thing to see, but these are the strategies of Uthman Danfodio that has seems to work for the Fulanis. And this is why you see that the Fulanis have been able to enjoy so much leadership, or should I say rulership over the Hausa clan. Whenever the Hausa people try to rise up to probably try and restore their heritage, the Sultan kicks in using religion. It brings up issues of, well, you guys understand that whatever the Sultan says, whatever he says stands. Whoever the king is, all the emir of Kano, Kaduna, emir of Ilorin, all of them all bow for the Sultan of Sokoto. In fact, right now, Ilorin, which used to be a Yoruba land governed by Yoruba Obas, has now fallen. And this is, you can see how the Fulanese, how they operate. The Ilorin has fallen, and of course, they are still eyeing, because they still have an eye into the very prosperous lands of the Yorubas, places like Oyo, places like Oshun, places like even Lagos. They want to use religion to divide and conquer. And after that, when they conquer, They will dethrone all the Yoruba leaders, and if they eventually succeed, we will no longer have Yorubas. You will now start having Yoruba Fulanis, just as they did with the houses. So I seldom come out and make that noise that Yoruba people have been too divided, and this was possible because the Fulanese were allowed to have that very deadly incursion with this religion. I mean, we saw what happened in the past few weeks when the Ramadan for 2025 was about to commence. We saw how the Yorubas splitted themselves up in shame, in disunity, when some aspects said that they will follow the Sultan, that the Sultan is their supreme leader, and you will see these guys who says Sultan is a supreme leader in terms of Islam. They will tell you that they are Islam first before even they are Yorubas. So what does that tell you? It tells you that these are house Negroes. It tells you that these ones that have accepted a religion before their tribe, before their ethnicity, will actually be the ones that will, you know, kill any Yoruba, a fellow Yoruba that will be ready to kill any Yoruba that does not yield or bend or follow the orders of their supposed leader, who is the Sultan. I mean, this is what happens during the years when the Fulani conquest was going on in the north. We saw how so many Hausa'S who believed so much in Madame Fudio, when Madame Fudio gave them military promotions, and he gave them some juicy fine ladies, and of course, you know he promised them that if they fulfill the mission, they will have a large span of farmlands. He used them. They were the one leading this warrior of the Fulani, their progenitor, which Madam Fodio. Those houses were the ones, because they were the damn house Negroes. Because of what? Religion has brainwashed their head. He started leading with Madam Fodio and his warriors to where the kings, known as Seriki, where they have their powers, how everything was going to work easy for the Fulanis to defeat the aborigines. And we saw everything that happened. But eventually, you all know what Usman did. Usman Danfodio stabbed those house Negroes at the back. Until this very day, we do not have any prominent leader. We don't even have a governor in the north who is of a pure Hausa blood. If you see any governor in the north, he is definitely half breed. He has the mixed breed. He has Hausa and Fulani blood mixed together in their own ancestral land. But I read those things on my social media handle, and I have to be sincere. I have some doubt, but I am sort of happy for the Hausa clan that they want to rise and recover what truly belongs to them. But again, I am wary of the house Negroes, of those who have the pure blood of Hausa, however, are fully manipulated by the Sultan through the use of religion. We know what they did to Afonja. We know how Afonja exposed the military formations, the military prowess, the weaponries, the artillery, the formations, the tactics, and of course, the kinds of Otumokbo, the Alafin of Oyos of then used, how he exposed everything to the Alimis, the son of Uthman Danfodio. However, what happened to him is woes. He met his Waterloo. He was actually beheaded. Until this very day, his head was buried as a foundation of the palace of the Emir of Ilorin as we have today. The houses must be ready. If they truly want to recover this must go beyond the social media. Though I read in the news some days ago about the houses the Pure Hausa Vigilante group that was set up in Zamfara, and within a space of 2 weeks of operation, they were able to capture not less than 10 bandits. When these bandits were interrogated, right, when they were interrogated, it was discovered that mostly all of them were Fulanese. Not one was either an Igbo man, not any of the bandits was a Yoruba man, not any of the bandits was from the Middle Belt. When they were asked, they said they were Fulanese. And the Hausas now went back to the media and said that no wonder that when the governor set up a vigilante group for every man who is able-bodied, all his body parts are complete, that no wonder no single Fulani youth joined the vigilante group. What does this mean? Simple. It is instructive that every, largely every Fulani person in the north are aware that their sons, maybe these are their bastard sons, but their sons are largely into what we call Fulani terrorism and banditry. They know this, but being the coward they are, they have failed to come out to call out their own child. They have come out to condemn their own child. They have failed to come out to condemn their own child. I haven't seen the Sultan come out in the recent time to condemn the atrocities of his sons and daughters, right? Because we know that mostly these guys will never dare go to the palace of the Sultan to attack him. They won't dare because they see him, they revere him, they respect him. They know that no matter how fierceful they are, they certainly do need a religious leader. And you'll see most times they follow the religious instructions of the Sultan. Wherein, if the Sultan said that the fasting will start today, this Fulani bandit will also follow suit. So you see that the houses, you guys have a very, very tall order to make. It is a very, very humongous and I mean, a mountainous journey. Can you guys defeat the Fulanese? I don't know. I don't think it is possible. But I'm going to wish you guys well because in the past, Mazin Kanu has speculated, he has prophesied that there will be a time in Nigeria that if the Fulanese fail not to have a change of heart, that if they do not have a change of culture or a reformed way of living, wherein they do not stop encroaching people's farmlands with their cattle, abusing people's rights, wherein they do not stop seeing themselves as the masters of all in Nigeria, that indeed it will get to a point that the Hausas, that the Igbos, that the Yorubas will rise, just as we have in the Central Africa Republic, wherein so many of other tribes rose because the Fulanese, as at then, became the willing tool of the colonial masters, giving them weapons because they were unleashing terrors. Is that not what we have happening today in Nigeria? We know how some international powers, the likes of Al Qaeda, sends military weaponries down to the camps of these bandits, promising them that if they can complete the Islamization of this country, that indeed they will become a very prosperous tribe and they will forever be the superior above every other tribe. I mean, this is a clear agenda that they have vowed never to stop, So I'm going to show you a video right now of the Fulanese while at the camp launching or having a meeting about the new attacks they want to unleash in Nigeria, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and also, I hope you guys did not forget that a governor, if unfortunately a governor of Bauchi has once said that Nigerians takeover will be the biggest success story of the Fulanese conquest. Let us watch what these Fulanis are doing in our desert, and also watch what Mazinam Dekano has to say about the Fulanese.
فيا أهلنا في مدن مالي وبوركينا والنيجر اعلموا أن هذا التحالف المجرم الذي سمى نفسه IS
to bring in the Fulanis together. We have Fulanis from other countries.
The issue of misconception, I see there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the
If I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries, who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project, and you use the language, the culture itself to be able to convince them, away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project, and it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not that you don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really excavating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are
within that?
Oh yes, that is going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics, because as I said, the Fulani man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you, and that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the
let's stay with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be, this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand the reason. You will understand the reason why people are concerned, because of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if
these forests are there anyway. If you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals. And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it is not being utilized.
But Your Excellency, much as yes, I mean, they're fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanis as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world, all over Africa. And so presumably they are Nigerians. I think you get me. That is the misunderstanding. They move from one place to the other, and they have relations, kith and kins in all the parts of the country and even outside the country. So that is why our own population is fluid. You can certainly not say this is the population of Nigeria.
So this issue